Hey Alashia, so I just wanted to introduce the following videos to you. We're going to be taking you through a routine. You're going to have a warm-up, corrective exercise, and then recovery. So Madison is going to do the warm-up and the corrective exercise portion with you, and I'm going to be doing the recovery portion. So here's what you're going to need. You already have your tune-up balls. Yay. You're also going to need a light and moderate resistance band. You'll probably want to start off with just the light resistance band, and then as you advance through the program, then you can add resistance if you'd like to. And you'll also need a foam roller. So if you have just a regular, smooth, high-density foam roller, that's ideal. If you have one of the foam rollers with the little knobby trigger point things on it, it'll still be fine. It might just be a little more, dare I say, painful. Remember, as you're going through these routines, you're not looking for a stimulus of intensity, okay? What you're looking for is we want you to have a change and a shift in your movement pattern. As we've already discussed, you're very trap dominant because you have really strong traps, which good job. But your body is going to want to pull from those traps all the time because they are strong. So what we want to do, and what we've kind of honed into, especially with the corrective exercise portion of this, is we're going to try to get other muscle groups firing so that we can take some of that constant day-to-day stimulus off of the traps and utilize other muscle groups, which is what you need to be doing anyway. So hopefully as you go throughout this program, you'll notice that your movement kind of starts to change both subconsciously and consciously. So that's really what we want to do for you, is just really correct that movement. So it's very, very important that you do this entire routine in its entirety at least 3 times a week. If you want to, take specific things and do, like if there's a part of the recovery that you really enjoy and you feel like it really helps, feel free to do that as much as you'd like to. Remembering again that we're not looking for intensity, we're looking for just a nice release in the muscle with the recovery portion. And then with the corrective exercise, you're looking for a stimulus in those muscle groups that you need to start utilizing more. And it's very, very important that you do the whole thing. So the corrective exercise is no more important than the recovery. The recovery is no more important than the corrective exercise. They are both equally important because we have to get muscles stimulated, which we'll do through the corrective exercise, and then we have to recover those muscles after we've done that, which you're going to do in the recovery. If you have any questions for us, feel free to reach out. You've got my number, and I hope you enjoy your videos.
Start you out with a quick shoulder warm-up. So the first thing we're going to do is palm up banded pull parts. So you want just a little bit of space left with the band. Kind of put it right about, just right above your chest. Arms straight out, shoulders down. Make sure you're perfectly grounded to the floor, and you're going to pull all the way to the chest. And when you come back, keep tension on the band. Don't let it sag back down. So you're going to do this. You're going to do 12 reps of that. Make sure you're really engaging your upper back and your rhomboids. You're going to do scapular push-ups, so you're not bending your arm at all. You're just moving your shoulder blade, your scapula. Okay? So make sure your shoulders just a little bit over your wrists. You're going to sink in with your shoulder and push up. Sink back in with your shoulders. Push up. Okay,
That's good.
so you're going to do that for 12 reps also. For the side lat pull down, you're going to be kneeling for this. You want same arm, same hand. And by that I mean the arm that you're pulling with is the same leg that's going to be up. So if you're doing your left leg's going to be up, right leg's going to be on the ground. And with this, I know that you're having some pain when you're all the way in extension above your head. So just have the band kind of pull as much as you can. So you don't have to come all the way back up. So if it's here, that's totally fine. Just pull down, come back up, and pull down again. Whatever is going to be pain-free for you is what I want you to modify it for. for scapula dips. It's kind of just like the scapular push-ups except for dips. So you're going to be having your legs at a 90-degree angle with your knee. It doesn't have to be all the way spread out like you would be doing tricep dips or anything. Just enough weight to kind of hold yourself up, and then you're just going to let your shoulders come up and then push them down with your lats, rhomboids, and all the super tiny stabilizing muscles. Flies with the band, so you're going to attach it to a rig or the doorway if you have a door anchor, depending on what you got at home. You're going to have the band on your left side if you're using your right arm first for the pulls. You're going to be taking it, you want it pulled enough that when you come back it doesn't have any slack. You want it under tension the entire time, and you want to make sure that you have it pulled to your right leg. Again, we're still using the right arm. Sorry, my cat's getting in the way. And you're going to be a little bit bent over, maybe about 45-degree angle, and then you're going to pull up and make sure you're really using your rhomboids, so your upper back for this. You shouldn't really be feeling it anywhere else, and make sure your core is super stabilized. You don't want any twisting or rotating in the trunk section at all. Again, we really just want to be pulling from the back for this. Next is stir the pot. Whatever ball you would have at home, anything that kind of is a little wobbly that you can rest your shoulders on. You're just going to be doing a regular plank on it. Keep your butt down. That way your core is mainly braced for it. And you're just going to do circles clockwise and counterclockwise. If you feel like you're struggling with just the regular plank, you can go to your knees and still do that plank position up until your knees. Just have your knees bent on the floor. You can either lift your toes up or have them as well on the ground. And again, just counterclockwise and clockwise. Forward and backwards pulls. You want to have the band attached to wherever your hand, kind of evenly with your hand when you have your arms straight down by your side. So maybe just a little bit lower than your hip. That way you're not pulling from too low or too high up when you're doing the exercises. Make sure your feet are shoulder width apart. That way you're not using your body's momentum or anything to actually get that pull. You want to really just be using your chest, lats, and your whole shoulder girdle. Single arm lat pull down. So for this, make sure the band is either hooked into the wall in front of you. You don't want to have the band coming down past you like this. You want to have it out in front of you, holding it again just to that shoulder level, and then pulling straight down. A wall dead bug. You want to make sure your hands are at a 90-degree angle with the wall. You'll see that in the demo. And then we're slowly lowering our leg. If you have any popping in your hip, try really bracing your core even more. You could be thinking you are. You might just be flexing it. Make sure you take a big breath, squeeze your glute on the way down, and then really focus on your core on the way up. And these are going to be alternating. You're going to do 20 reps on each leg. Key thing that a lot of people normally don't do when they're doing a dead bug or like a hollow hold is that they'll have their back in a little bit of a neutral position. This is the one time we're not going to do that. it is going to be a little bit rounded. So we're really engaging the core. You should have all of your back, a little bit of the top glute touching the floor, and you'll see that in the demo as well. And for hollow body rocks, again, with the trouble that you're having with your arm over your head, we're just gonna have our arms crisscrossed over our chest and do hollow body rocks. But if you can't keep the proper body position required for this, and it's gonna be a nice, small, rounded back, you don't wanna be up all the way on your butt or anything. You wanna just kinda at the middle of your shoulders, and down should be on the ground when you're rocking back and forth. If you can't keep that body position, go ahead and tuck your knees up like you'd be doing a roll, and you're just gonna have your arms out in front like this and your knees in between your arms.
All right, Alashia, so the first thing we're going to do for the recovery portion here is we're going to do a breathing exercise. So I've taught you this before, but I'm just going to reiterate and show you again. So basically, breath when you are working out, okay? When you need that when you're getting that cardiovascular stimulus, when you're lifting anything, you need to be able to really pull from your diaphragm. So diaphragmatic breathing is very important, especially for stress reduction, because a lot of times we get in this pattern of breathing where we want to breathe up here and our shoulders go up and our chest tightens and everything gets really, really tight up here, which I think is definitely a pattern that you suffer from. So remembering to utilize our diaphragm for diaphragmatic breathing is going to be really important for you. So what I'm going to want you to do for this is the following. If you want to do it from a standing position, that's fine. What I would recommend doing is laying down on the ground first. You're going to lie down, okay, in a comfortable position, flat on the ground. You're going to put your hands on your diaphragm. So I'm going to step back here, diaphragm right here, so it's underneath the rib cage. So you're going to put your hands here, and then you're going to take a deep, slow breath in for a slow count of 4. And then you're going to hold it for 4, and then you're going to slowly breathe out for a slow count of 5. So the way that it's going to look is going to be like this. So if you notice, this expands first, okay? So watch. And then it naturally goes into the chest, okay? I'm not chest breathing. I'm not initiating with my chest. I'm initiating with the diaphragm, and then it naturally goes into the chest. And I just realized that the way I have this camera set up makes my arms look ridiculously long. Anyway, so do that first. Do that for 5 minutes and try to practice that at least 3 times a week. And remember, when you're doing any of this routine and when you do any kind of workout, you're going to want to breathe like that. All right, so number 2 in your recovery portion is going to be traction for the neck. This is going to be really important for you. I'm not sure if your chiropractor is already getting you to do this, but I'll basically just walk you through what I would recommend. If you want to get this specific tractioning device that I have, they have them on Amazon. They're about $25. So it's basically just a piece of foam that helps traction your neck. So that's really the most convenient way to do it. You can also use a rolled up towel though. So I'm going to take you through both ways. And then you're going to want to work up to being able to actually just kind of hold that traction for about 8 minutes. For some people, it's really uncomfortable. So if you can do at least 3 minutes to begin with and just work your way up to 8 minutes, I'd do this every day. So this is definitely one of those things that I would do every day because it'll just help with everything. right, so the third thing we're going to do in your recovery portion is going to be to utilize a foam roller to the subscapularis and also to the upper back. You probably know how to do this already, but the following is a video that takes you through that. So you're going to just come right on top of this foam roller. Oh boy, I need that. So you're going to come right on top of the foam roller. So here's a couple of different things you can do. You can very gently, now the thing is if you're in a lot of pain here, just sink into it. You don't even have to roll. But if you feel like you can roll, you're just going to very gently roll across those areas, okay? You don't want to get too far down in here because that's your rib cage and you just don't want to mess with that. So just stay on the meaty part of the muscles. Also, while you're here, you can move your arm back and forth. You can bring the elbow down and reach up. So moving that muscle is going to help it release a lot quicker. All right, the next thing we're going to do is either a lacrosse ball or your tune-up balls are perfect. We're going to do tune-up balls to the traps in a doorway. All right, next on the list is a child's pose. This is just a nice resting yoga pose that's going to help you just open up the upper body, but also works a little bit on stretching out hips too. So this is something that I would like you to do probably every day. It would just be really good for you to do. So here's that. The next thing we're going to do is a foam roller on the wall. Now, when you do this next exercise, basically what you're going to be doing is opening up the entire front chain. So this is really good for overhead movements. If you feel like you struggle with that mobility, going either overhead or back with your shoulders, this is a great thing to do. It just kind of opens everything up. And I would do this probably 3 sets, 10 times a piece. And when you get to the top of the roll, you're going to hold it for about 5 seconds. And remember to utilize your diaphragmatic breathing the entire time. Foam roller against the wall. So we're going to stretch out the lats and the subscap this way too. It also stretches the obliques. It also helps with shoulder mobility and rotation for an overhead position, which is great. So you're going to put the foam roller on the wall. You're going to find a place where you can, what I want is your wrists to be resting on the foam roller. Nice neutral spine, so you're not gonna pivot. You're gonna keep a nice neutral spine. You're gonna be feet are shoulder width apart. You're a little out from the wall. And then all you're gonna do is very slowly roll into that. So you're stretching out the subscap, you're stretching out the lats, and you're coming back down. So this is something that as you roll into it, breathe out, hold it for a good 5 seconds. And then you're gonna come back. And then I want you to do that probably a good 10 times. This next video, Madison is going to demonstrate some finger wall walks. This might seem trivial, but it actually really helps with the shoulders and the neck. This is one of the things that my physical therapist had me do when I was going to physical therapy for my shoulders and when I thought I had a labrum tear and my neck was feeling really weak. So again, it's something that looks very simple, but it is super helpful. Hey Alashia, we hope you enjoyed your video and we hope that you utilize it every week because I do really believe that this is going to help you just get further with your movement. And then when we are all allowed to leave our houses, and if you do start, you know, a pretty good workout routine or training in anything, I think this will just help a lot. And I think it'll help move you forward and make you feel stronger and with less pain, and less of these chronic kind of cricks that you get in your neck. I think it'll help a lot with that. Again, feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all regarding the videos or anything else, and we'll be happy to talk you through anything. Thank you so much.